Hello guys, Chris here with Chris's Granite Paradise, speaking to you today out and about again from the Yellowstone River. Here we are in Laurel, Montana. I'm out here with my brother-in-law and my sister. In fact, he's just saying he found some cool rocks. So I've recently posted a couple videos about my rocks from the Yellowstone, so I won't spend too much time today looking at too many rocks unless I happen to find some. But I do want to say just how wide this river gets during its flood stage. It's one of the few rivers in the United States that does not have a dam. And so it gets a wild flood stage in the spring when the snow is melting. I think 2 or 3 years ago they had really big floods here. You could see how low the river is now. It's mid-August. I think today is August 8th actually. And then from there where you see the river, clear back to over there where the big trees are, this all fills up with water. You can see all the down trees here left from the recent floods. Just to give you an idea of the perspective of the size, when it floods, it really brings a lot of rocks. Another thing that's cool about this river, especially for me, because I don't see good. So most of the channels I see about the Yellowstone on YouTube are focused on the agate. And I would never see an agate just because my eyes can't pick them out. I look for colors and patterns. And I'll try to move slow, but just looking through here, because of the large number of tributaries coming from all different kinds of geological backdrops, the variety of rock in here is infinite. Not only do you have the current rivers that flow into it, but for example, above Billings, above the cliffs that they call the rims, and above the South Hills, there are ancient gravel deposits from either the same river when it was in a much earlier stage, much higher up, or from other rivers coming from completely different directions, from mountain ranges that don't exist. And that material is pouring into the river. So you really can't run out of things to find here. And that's what I love about the Yellowstone every time I get back here. Another interesting feature I've noticed over the years, because the Yellowstone is big enough and has a wild enough flood stage, there's quite a variety of sorting that goes on by size and by weight. For example, here you can see in this smaller gravel, probably 60 or 80% of the rocks are basaltic. They're heavier, they're also smaller. And if you look over here, the rocks are much larger and there's a higher percentage of lighter colors. Again, this is just visually looking. And I've come across places, I won't be able to get to the place I'm thinking of in this video, but where all the rocks are flat and they're all laying pointed in the same direction, kind of like roof tiles. I wanted to insert this. I'm here in Fort Collins. I'm at the bottom of one of my 2 sculptures dedicated to rocks from the Yellowstone. And my friend Art, thank you Art, if you're watching this, I greatly appreciate you. Not only these, but other rocks you've given me. These are the flat rocks I was talking about, how the river had sorted. And I saw it many years ago, and I need my friend to take me to the place that he's found, because he just brought these like 6 months ago. He says that he came across an area where the rocks were sorted and they were all flat. And he brought me 2 nice bucketfuls of them. And it would make sense. It would make sense if the majority of the rocks were sandstones. for example. In a river that's mostly sandstone, the rocks are going to be flat because sandstone tends to break flat. But I want to point out that almost none of these are sandstone. In fact, they're very evenly mixed compared to the varieties of rock in the Yellowstone. I see some pudding stones. Here's a beautiful amphibolite or gneiss. There's granites. Here's a porphyry. Several porphyries, actually. So it's very interesting that, and this is kind of how I remember it looking. If you can imagine the rocks laid at an angle, kind of with the broad face facing upstream, and they were all stacked against each other. Very interesting. I'm not sure how much research has been done. It's probably a whole nother science in itself of how a larger river can sort things. Sorry about how crowded it is here. It's mid-August and the sunflowers are at their peak. I leave them because I love the squirrels coming. The squirrels climb up them. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. But just wanted to show you guys the flat rocks I was talking about. And of course here we're seeing a gravel bar that was deposited on top of the bottom of what looks like is the main channel. Of course it's low this time of year so we can get out there, but those rocks are much bigger, but they're also dirty still. Anyway, just interesting things to keep in mind depending on what you're looking for. For example, petrified wood tends to be long and slender, and so they will kind of gather in certain areas and not so much in others. Agates are very light, so they're probably more likely, not always, but more likely to be where the light stuff is. Light, by light I mean weight. For example, a larger white rock, light colored rock, will be the same weight as a slightly smaller black rock or basalt. And so this all affects how the rocks settle out. Our bucket is slowly getting full. So here are a couple of really cool discoveries. This is not a snake. This is probably a cottonwood root or of some kind of tree. And the more gravel these roots grow through, the more gnarly they can be. Some of them are really exotic looking. And right next to it, here is a beautiful jasper, I believe, with these eyes all over it. And I know you shouldn't do this, but I don't have a water bottle, so I'm gonna give it a lick just to bring out the color. No, I'm not saying you should go around licking rocks. But that's a nice piece, and it's that pattern. It's got that pattern all the way around, so I think I'm gonna keep that one. And there's another nice. If you watched my Rock Creek video from a few days ago, I talked a lot about the nices. This is actually a variety of rock I found a few of in the Poudre River in Colorado. Very few of them that I found here. This probably came out of the volcano in Yellowstone Park eons ago. Nice piece of basalt with flow banding all through it. And then right over here, completely unrelated rock. I'm not sure if that would be a migmatite or maybe just a unique pattern in a gneiss. It seems really solid, and again the pattern goes all the way through. A little too big to carry home on this trip. I didn't really come prepared to pick up boulders, but that is cool looking. Well, we're at the end of the afternoon here. Here are some of our findings of the day. These are the ones my sister and my brother-in-law picked up. A couple of pudding stones, petrified wood. This is a very nice piece of petrified wood, and that pattern on there is unique. And then I was very careful today since, again, I'm traveling on the bus and I can't take too much. And I may even have to leave these in my brother-in-law's garden, but these are just the few that I found. Again, that jasper with the eye pattern all over it. One of those beautiful sandstones with the water staining. This, I'm not really sure what it is. I thought it was a volcanic breccia, but it might be a rhyolite. Some of these, it's a mystery. And these look like some kind of hematite veining going through a granite. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. Again, this is the beautiful Yellowstone River. We are in Laurel, Montana, just upstream from Billings.